ESL Studios, either solo casting. You were there before me. You know how it is. Up to the top right-hand corner in the red, it is Vindicta.
And in the bottom left side, we're looking at the main base of the Swedish man who is currently living in Canada. I love that he's still rocking a Swedish flag behind him, though. That's super cool to see. It is Namshar.
Just had to go and copy TLO. Being a Zerg, going to Canada, doing all the things, playing in America. Just had to do it.
Who's next?
Which Zergs can we pick who are love hungry?
Imagine if we would send Rainer. Poor NA.
Oh no.
That's actually so funny to think about. Like, you know, Neep is obviously loving this region. You know, he won it in the previous season, and obviously NA is not easy. You've got Australia, you've got Future. There's plenty of like really strong talent. The Europeans coming over making it harder. Imagine if you just sent like Cero or Rainer. Like, it's a shame that Canada is as cold as it is. Maybe Jonas Satala can move to Florida or something, so he can golf all the time, beautiful weather, and then he can participate in the NA region. What about Cero? Let's send over Cero.
You think Finns would do well in the dramatic heat of Florida? I don't know.
I think if you give Cero a couple golf courses, he'll be okay.
If you gave him a couple golf courses. Oh, well, I mean, didn't he get a plot of land in Pornainen or something?
Yep, I believe, and I think he's also the local golf course is named after him. So, you know, you can start in Pornainen and end in Miami. Like, all of these things are possible. That's the American dream, James. So Cero's gonna live it.
Oh dear me. I guess, yeah. I mean, he probably already is in Finland, to be fair. He's probably already living that dream. But anyway, we have the Reaper on the way over to take a look at what Namshar is up to here. And already this third base is down and will be good to go later on. What are we making of this match, Roddy?
Yeah, like I said, I'm just not 100% sure how much Vindicta has been practicing lately. I'm super happy to see that he has qualified again. He was part of DreamHack Masters summer as well. Didn't have the best performance in the group stage though, and you can say like, oh, he's still sort of a rookie. He's obviously very young, nothing to panic over. But I feel like he was actually better a while ago than he currently is. But I hope that he's proving me wrong, and I hope that he can come out with some just super clean gameplay. But Vindicta was rising so quick, and then I just kind of feel like it stopped, and it's like, okay, you've reached a good level,
right?
But is this it, or do we get more? And I still believe that he's capable of more. I think he's a very talented player. He just needs to show it on the big stage.
Yep. Just kind of, I mean, there's always, I think in everything you do in life, there's always those potentials for hitting plateaus or even, you know, de-evolution sometimes if you don't able to put in the time, put in the effort and stuff like that. I'm not saying that Vindicta is quite there for the de-evolution portion, but plateaus are prevalent.
All right, I have an example for you, James. I have reached the plateau. Like, I'm a StarCraft guy. That's it. That's my plateau. But then we've got Kalaris.
Oh, no.
And he just knows no boundaries. He conquers every game he goes to. He's the top dog in every scene he enters. And it's inspiring, James.
Is it? Is it really?
I love it.
Where are you going next, Roddy, if it's inspiring, huh?
I mean, the next RTS. Hopefully one day somebody realizes that it's nice to play fast RTSs and they don't have to all be slow and sluggish. And then, you know what? I still believe I have a beautiful future ahead of me.
I agree. That would be nice. Both things. Your future and the RTS.
All right. So the Vindicta obviously opening up with triple CC here, building 3 SCVs at a time. I've said it before about Namshar. In the past, I have sometimes been a little bit critical of Namshar's ZVT, and that's only because I know he's a really good player. I know he has the APM to do these kinds of things, but there were plenty of Zerg games that I casted where he played, for instance, against Hero Marine, and he just never made it past the halfway mark. Like, no Zergling counterattacks, no Bangling run-bys, just absolutely nothing. Just sits at home. And that's just not really a way to play as a Zerg. Like, you look at Elaser, he's a nightmare, right? He's always there, always looking for those openings. Namshar has been a bit too passive, in my opinion, in some of the games in the past. Some of the European Terrans I spoke to have also agreed to that. I'm curious to see if he has found some more aggression in his gameplay, because being defensive and solid is good. Trusting your late game is good. but you also need to make it a little harder on your opponent.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, even if you're extending your Zergy tendrils out all across the map and kind of consuming your side of the map, sometimes against some of the best, it's just not enough. There's 22 Zerglings on the way though. Centrifugal hooks kicking on in with the double Evo chambers, but for the most part, Vindicta's kind of just doing what he wants on his side of the map. I mean, you could say the same thing though. What have the Hellions been able to do really on the other side?
Yeah, but if you're opening triple CC, it makes sense to me that you're not just throwing them away.
Sure.
Obviously, if this is a 2-base opening, you want to get some damage done, but he's keeping those Hellions alive. Now, Namshar does get a good scout off. That's nice, I just hope he has enough units at home, but he's morphing 5 Banes, because that armory, James, is finishing up, and that means that these Hellbats can morph, the Hellions can morph into Hellbats, and here we go, the first serious attack of the game.
Go Power Rangers. We're getting going in through the middle, killing up some of these creep tumors. And right on top of the Banelings, actually, this is not the best of situations here for Namshar, but a huge round comes in, has to pick up everything, and actually crushes what is coming his way.
Yep, had more than enough units to deal with this, and has the Queens out there as well. I do think off creep, Vindicta should still be fine. Obviously, a lot of micro potential in these Marines. A bit surprised to see how deep he went on creep. Maybe to your point, those Hellions could have done a slightly better job in pushing the creep back. But this is nice for Vindicta. Grabs himself a queen and tries to take out a couple of the creep tumors as well. Oh, did you see that medevac micro? That was smooth.
Gotta pick up and get on out of there as fast as possible. Don't want to get shot down by the queens. Let's see how this is going to play on out. I mean, still, the thing is that you've cleaned up some of the creep in the middle, yes, but the creep is still going to be extending on the left-hand side and on the right-hand side of this map, and then try and push it through the middle too, where the queens are focusing. That's not even a full wall. Huh.
No, that is not a full wall, but it's still like I'm starting to get a little bit worried here, even though Namshar is throwing down the Hydra Den. Like, Namshar's economy has not been spectacular in this game, and it's once again just focusing on his defense. Not bad. If he ever gets Lurkers out with, the range upgrades as well and adaptive talents, then maybe all of this is going to be fine. I just wish he would make life a little bit tougher on the Terrans sometimes and set up some of those run-bys, because the mineral lines have been pretty exposed by Vindicta.
Yep, definitely so. The Marines on the left-hand side here looking to get a minute of maneuver in, and also hitting on the right-hand side as well. So trying to draw his opponent thin, but Namshar should be very well versed at dealing with something like this, positioning himself well to push it away.
Yep, Vindicta's going to try to snipe a couple Banes, and he does. I feel like he had no scans available there. I think look at his orbitals. Yeah, I think he was just short a little bit of energy, because that would have been a perfect moment to throw down a scan. He had a lot of time to clean up all the creep on the bottom side, but he had no scan available.
Unfortunato, as he's going to try and take another base over to this right-hand side. And I think this is going to get pushed away again eventually.
I was going to say, like, there is a Widow Mine, but then I realized it already shot. There are more Widow Mines, but now there's Banelings as well. I gotta say, that could have gone worse for Vindicta, because all of his Banes, or excuse me, his Widow Mines were very clumped up.
Yeah, those three at the front could have died if the Banelings would have gone up in between them. So, but gonna break down the rocks down towards this kind of sixth base location, I want to say, because he's already taken the fifth up towards the north position. And trying to get these Widow Mines. Oof. Trying to get these Baneling snipes, but the Widow Mines are all been expended now.
The double drop in the main, though, has some potential, I think, because I feel that Namshar saw it, but he didn't really have any units in position, so the double drop is going to get in there. Takes out 4 drones so far. Should be able to trade decently against these Zerglings at first, but the Hydras are giving enough DPS to keep Namshar's main safe. Vindicta's kind of everywhere, right? Like a couple of Marines here, never finding a lot of damage, but he's definitely pushing the pace of this game.
Yeah, it does feel like there's more comfort here for Vindicta compared to when he was going up against Protoss yesterday. As soon as he's got these drops going, he feels like he's flying left, right, and center, but these Hydralisks will be a bit of a nuisance.
Namshar is signing up his first attack. Problem is there are sensor towers by now. Obviously 10 minutes into the game, Terran on 4 bases. But this is just kind of typical Namshar. He likes to be defensive. He likes to rely on his defense and then just slowly but steady improve the quality of his army.
That is a lot of Widow Mines. It's going to keep ramping up as time goes on, adding a lot of bio to this to be able to charge on through the middle. He has actually left them there.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, Namshar's army is obviously a little bit immobile. Vindicta is starting to find more damage with these run-bys. It feels that Vindicta is never really attacking with his entire army. He's got a lot of supply. Where is it? Like, is it just a little bit everywhere? Still has 2 medevacs at the bottom, has 1 medevac on the left side. Now makes a big push here with the mines.
Just looking for openings on the edge of creep here at the moment, and does find one for a moment. More medevacs loading up on that right-hand side, dropping a scan in the main, actually leaving with those 2 medevacs down towards the south. You're right, he is kind of just everywhere trying to poke at everything.
Yep, look at all those mines in the center. I don't know if Namshar is still aware of those.
No, I don't think so. They were down a long time ago, so he may have thought that they had moved by this point in the game.
It's funny as well to see him this heavy on the mines, because mines in general not fantastic against Hydra, especially not against Lurkers, but hey, they might finally get some decent shots off here. That could have gone so much better. Unfortunately, it didn't. Namshar did leave a couple of units behind in the main, and that is enough to shut down all these draws. But at the same time, Vindicta's going to try to take out the hatch on the top, but Banelings are here to save the day.
I am trying to split to get as least a cost-efficient out of the Banelings as possible. Another push on the right-hand side gets cleaned away by those Zerglings, the janitors of the Zerg army. Get out of here. Go on. Oi.
Yeah, splashy. Very, very juicy shot there on the mines. A lot of Zerglings going down, but I'm starting to get a little bit worried for Vindicta because the ghost count is non-existent. He is starting to add Liberators into his play, and that's very nice to see. But Lurkers are, I feel like, on the way, right? And Lurker Den is done, so we can start seeing some Lurkers real soon. And mines are not going to cut it against Lurkers, so Vindicta needs a little more than he's been getting so far.
Yeah, just got to take that extra little step. I feel like sometimes it can be easy to get stuck in this kind of mode where you're constantly pushing on. Widow Mines trying to connect with everything here. The bio survives for a little bit, but a lot of it was taken out up at the top.
But some of these mine shots have been big though. Now we start getting some Liberator harass as well in multiple bases. Love to see it from Vindicta. And he's actually making this harder for Namshar. I'm surprised that Namshar still doesn't have any Lurkers out. He has a Lurker Den. He's getting Lurker range at this point, but there are still no Lurkers, and I feel like that would really make his life a lot easier.
Takes down another hat trick. We'll have to get on out of there. Widow Mines never cease to amaze me for some of these moments, as, I mean, as I was saying, like with Vindicta not having his ghosts on the way and kind of, as I say, being stuck in this kind of phase of the game, it does feel like Namshar was kind of also stuck, so the pressure was being exerted, but now the 9 Lurkers are on the way.
Yep, and that obviously makes it a little bit scarier, but we do have a second starport on the way and a fusion core, so we could get some advanced ballistics. I mean, Vindicta's been cost efficient though. Namshar has lost 5,000 resources more in this game, mostly because of a couple of insane Widowmine connections that we've had so far. These Bane connections are pretty good on the Marines, and Lurkers will take care of those Widowmines as well. But Vindicta needs to lose some supply, because now we can start adding in the ghosts. There is the first nuke of the game as well, that Cats was kind of teasing us about.
Yeah, I was a big fan of watching him using those nukes yesterday as well. They didn't really get, you know, any kind of huge connection by any stretch of the imagination, but still trying to keep his opponent on his toes. But to a point that Cats made yesterday, actually, I think it was Cats. It feels like Zergs are a bit more on the ball about dealing with nukes compared to like Protoss.
And no, sorry. Every time I go, just imagine big Widowmine shot. This time on the bottom side. Lurkers are running forward. Vindicta still being aggressive on the left side as well. Kalaras, lots of things are going down. Who's winning?
Well, these Lurkers are actually doing quite a bit of damage to all of this, but will the Bio Army come back in time? It looks like those Liberators force this back to reposition for a moment. I mean, it's 2 planetary fortresses actually while this is happening, so they can be repaired up. They can provide their own firepower. They're killing Hydralists on the right-hand side. Where is the Terran army?
Well, where is the NPR as well? That's what I'm wondering about. We've got 9 Hydras. It isn't that much, but 9 Hydras with 4 Vipers could be enough. The Terran army is kind of in production, right? A lot of ghosts are on the way at the moment. Vindicta lost a lot of bio units on the left side. One of the bases going down hurts. But I still don't hate this game for Vindicta right now, because if he's surviving, that ghost count is going up rapidly. Liberators with advanced ballistics are going to be hard to deal with. Like, this is going to be a battle between Vipers and Ghost. And I mean, the last time I saw an EMP miss, James, you didn't even have a level 60 character yet in World of Warcraft. So that's a very long time ago. the EMP should be able to save the day.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, that's right. I mean, the with the upgrade as well, that radius, I teased Ben about it yesterday, but it's about the size of the screen, the radius, right?
We don't have it yet, though. That's actually... Oh, but he did land an EMP there, I believe, on one of the Vipers. A Widowmine shot there as well. This is a very important push here for Namshar. He does get lurkers in range. Nuclear missile landing on top of the lurkers as well. That'd be super amazing to see.
That's an evac. Get out of there. And actually, a hatchery did go down. That's actually off center, I think, that hatchery that he just replaced there. But Namshar, once again, is going to have to hold on against the aggression going on in towards his base. We'll push this away. He's got plenty of units to do so.
We are just getting the most ridiculous games today.
Yeah.
Vindicta survives. Obviously, economically struggling a little bit. Hasn't secured any additional bases for quite some time. But hey, his army is getting a lot better. The ghost count is at 8 at this point, and a lot of ghosts is all you really want against lurkers. And I feel that Namshar realizes, like, all right, I should push the issue a little bit because this army is getting more and more intimidating. The overseers are late here, so he didn't see the ghost at first.
Snipe, snipe, snipe. Getting some of these lurkers going down. Here comes the Liberators as well. Liberation zones. Gonna have to burrow on up and get on out of here. Today and yesterday reminds me kind of Katowice group stages almost, where like there's some insane games. People are fighting over like really important prize to even just get onto the next stage of the tournament.
That was pretty funny. 2 medevacs just sitting on top of the Hydras. But yeah, I'm with you. We're honestly getting spoiled over here, just like we got spoiled a couple of times in Katowice. I have no idea why. Namshar keeps attacking with like 4 Hydras. It's like, mate, you need anti-air. Like, this Liberators. Even if it's only 5 or 6 libs, like, you just need more anti-air than what he's got. The Hydra count right now is 8. He's getting a few more, so he gets up to 12. I don't know.
Nukes on the way again. And this one's just gonna, well, where is the go? Okay, it's there, so it'll kill it off before it even does anything. Ah, poor guys.
Namshar is richer, but I'm still kind of feeling Vindicta's position just because I like his army better.
Yeah? I mean, if the trades keep going down, a nuke aggressively here to try and stop this from actually hitting. Will he move in time? He might not move in time. Roddy.
Oh, it's close, but he will.
Yeah, okay, we're good. Phew.
So Vindicta's starving for gas a little bit, which is surprising to see as a Terran player, but I guess if you're making a lot of goals, a lot of Liberators, and you're researching nukes as well, eventually you're going to face that problem. Namshar is desperately looking for an opening, though. We've got 13 Hydras. Is this the moment when Namshar finally takes out one of these important bases? A lot of goals on the bottom as well. EMP lands, of course it lands, James.
Oh, actually Blinding Cloud as well on some of these siege tanks to make sure that they can't actually shoot things out. There's snipes that we just weren't enough. The Ghost got chased back by Banelings. So a command center kill and a runaway thanks to Baneling zoning. I like it.
And a couple of Liberators as well because they were in static mode on top of each other. So Parasitic Bomb actually got the job done. And 2 Liberators went down there. This is an insane game.
Yeah. It really is. And it's only the first game of their entire of what we're doing here for North America. Great stuff. Another Ghost plodding on in. Another nuke.
That is a really interestingly placed nuke. Like, why?
Yeah. Could have been deeper.
Yeah, not.
I guess the Spore Crawler was there, but.
Yeah, I guess he was trying to avoid Spore Crawler range, but he was still in range, so that didn't really get the job done. Ooh, careful with the ghosts, but snipes are gonna take care of it. So a couple lurkers go down on the top side. Vindicta takes down the hatchery on the left side as well. That's nice, but at the same time, Namshar gets on top of the SCVs on the bottom right. What a game, James!
It's not gonna calm down, is it? We're just gonna have tree after tree and liberation zones set up here. Get themselves a few Banelings. That's a ton of Banelings, though. Decide to, you know, just kill a sensor tower, because why on earth not? And get on out of there.
Like, I know it's very hard to squeeze into your play, especially when it comes down to control groups, but I always feel like 1 or 2 infestors are almost a must here, so you can land a fungo on those ghosts, and then all the Banelings can come crashing in. I think it's very hard to connect to the ghosts without any fungal growth.
Yeah. Or they could use Microbial Shroud. Look, we had 1 Microbial Shroud yesterday. Everyone was like, the casters missed it. As this fight is going to go on, I'll talk about that later on. Nice little abducton to grab one of the siege tanks as well as those Banelings are going to try and trail on through to those ghosts. Will they get on top of them? They're so close, but they don't manage to breach the gap. The Ghost will push this back here for now. Ooh,
oh, that's so many lurkers that did go down in the end, but at least he gets the kill on the planetary. And that's really what Namshar was looking for there.
Yeah.
That wasn't a cheap one, though. He has now lost 7,000 resources more, but obviously he's been expanding like an absolute madman. He could be in danger of losing his base on the bottom right, though. I mean, Vindicta is just going to replace this. Namshar is still richer, and I'm still kind of feeling Vindicta in this game just because I really believe in the Ghost Liberator combo, and Vindicta is good with his army as well.
Is he gonna... No, they'll move out in time, right?
Yep.
Even if they hatch, so...
But the armies could... He could move back to the left. That's, oh my god, I can't believe everything just avoided. Look at the Vipers! Actually, imagine if he would have landed the nuke on the Vipers, that would have been so big.
Very, very nice indeed. A huge gas investment on those. But yeah, a microbial shroud went down yesterday, and it was completely inconsequential on the result of the game. But everyone's like, the casters missed it. I'm like, who cares about microbial shroud for the most part at this point?
You're talking about the Bly against MaxPax fight, right? But, yeah. I mean, to be fair, those Hydras would have been evaporated without microbial shroud, though. I know it didn't win the game, but I'm actually I'm one of the very few people in the scene who actually don't think that microbial shroud is as bad as people make it seem out to be.
Okay, yeah.
And the reason is that I'm a donkey who likes to play pure Skytals, and against pure Skytals, it's actually incredibly powerful. But we'll talk more about that later. These ghosts are in a little bit of trouble. The Lurkers fight actually got on top of the ghost. Good blinding clouds as well on top of the tanks. This really seems to be the fight that Namshar was looking for, and now Vindicta is really taking some crucial economic damage.
Yeah, very well orchestrated, but actually I think that some of those Banelings actually went past some of the ghosts to try and get into the mineral line. It wasn't successful though whilst it was going down, but that's by the by. On the left-hand side, still another attempt at being aggressive here with those two liberation zones cordoning off that area, but these fights are nuts, Roddy.
Yeah, these fights are nuts. I mean, just looking at the minimap, most of the time when we have a game like this, the majority of my focus is actually on the minimap, just so I can cover most of the important action. And there's just stuff running around everywhere. There are so many units moving in different directions. It's been an absolute pleasure to watch. Vindicta is going to try to reestablish somewhat of a decent economy, building 4 or 5 SCVs at a time. Namshar really wants to shut down this base. This base is kind of irrelevant, though. Sure, there's 2 refineries left, but other than the depots, I don't really feel like what you're getting out of these attacks here.
I guess just trying to draw your opponent to the other side of the map, because while this is happening, there is a big Zergling attack on towards this base. It's quite fortified.
Oh no, the tanks, friendly fire. Oh no, look at this. Oh, is he hold? No, hold. No, stop the tanks. Oh my goodness, these are traitor tanks.
Yeah, that was a bit oof. There's going to be quite a few units still here laying siege to this location, forcing the lift off of that orbital command, and man, this is all over the place.
Yep, now Vindicta is immediately going to retaliate in the bottom right, taking out the spines, gets the queen as well. Can we get the hatchery kill? Looking at the minimap, I'd say the answer is yes, as Namshar is already evacuating with the drones. Wow, just 24 minutes. Obviously a slow start, which often happens in Namshar's EVTs, but
yeah.
Jeez, how many goals have gone down at this point? 16 goals already, 10 liberators as well. Another nuke in the top left, but that one gets shut down immediately.
Earlier you were feeling Vindicta's position, but how are you feeling now?
I'm not really feeling it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
brutal.
He does have the very sexy bunkers, and if Namshar keeps making attacks like this, then maybe. In the end, he gets a couple of abducts on the tanks, but that wasn't a cheap fight. Obviously, he is the richer player. Namshar has to be a little bit careful, though, because these are kind of expensive units that he's losing as well.
Yeah, definitely so. Not really got much gas income either while this is all going down. Should really get those gases up on the northwest side so that you can really kind of balance out this economy and deal with what's going on. A scan to drop down and see what's going on over here.
Command centers hovering above hatcheries. Goal star. What? No! It was like one hit away from dying. Now we're gonna get a snipe or 2. I would love to see Vindicta do something about this base in the top left. Does get a hatchery kill. Snipes the Overseer, but there is another Overseer in the mix as well. Oh my goodness, James. So many abducts, so much spell casting. Nuke in the top left. It could be a big one. Could be a very big one.
There's a lot of workers there. He's not paying attention. Whee! Come on.
And that's the one that Vindicta really needed. Because now all of a sudden the supplies are even and Namshar falls to 55 drones. He's got minerals in the bank, but he doesn't have a lot of gas. Oh, it goes! No! finish dash. Oh my god, are you kidding me?
This game, it's so good. We have a Marine's going to be moving through the middle of the map here as well, dropping scans, trying to see if there's any more lurkers on this front position here, killing off Banelings too. And he got closer again.
Feeling Vindicta again.
Yeah, you're back on the phone.
Yeah, I mean, you just asked me on the absolute worst moment ever, okay? It was just bleeding out units, didn't have anything in the bank. Now this circling counterattack is getting some good work done. At the same time, big fight in the bottom right. Did we lose goals? The answer is yes, we lost a lot of goals. Oh no.
Only 4 left on the map.
He's got all the upgrades. He's got 10 SCVs inside of his command center.
Another base up to the north here for Namshar. He's just trying to swarm across his opponent's side of the map now. Morphing in a lot more Banelings. See if he can get a little bit of a crash through, but army supplies are relatively close. It's
yeah, but losing all those goals makes me very sad for Vindicta though. Like, that was a bit too much. These Liberators are very important on the top side. And this is flying over Hydras. Sorry, Observer, but yeah, these are just units that I feel that Vindicta can't really afford to lose. If he would have fixed that rally point, it would have been a bit better. Good blinding cloud there by Namshar.
Trying to EMP some of the Vipers as well. Blinding clouds will land on, as you mentioned here, on the siege tanks. It actually caught like 1 or 2 of the Vipers, I think, while that EMP goes down. And a Baneling crashing into these depots, trying to open it up or not. Indecisive.
Yep. Like that.
Sorry, Banes.
Let's go through the liberation circles instead. It's like, well, maybe not the best idea, but obviously Namshar did just get a couple of big W's across the board. The Zerglings in the middle, taking out the tanks was nice, shutting down that gas economy. Above all, just preventing this base from the bottom right being taken and also resetting the ghost count over and over again. It's just been massive for the Swedish Zerg.
Yeah, these Liberators aren't really doing too much right now, but here comes the Swarm once again on this right-hand side, pushing back all of these Marines. There's not that many siege tanks to be able to buffer for this, but they will buy enough time as well as enough ground for this army to retreat back out.
Isn't it insane that Namshar just never got like a Spire to actually make his life a bit easier to deal with some of these Liberators? Like a few Corruptors here and there, it feels it would make your life so easy. Vindicta, get 1 unit to the top left side. Imagine if he shuts down that hatchery that's still so low on HP.
Is it really still that low? Oh dear. Yeah. One, I was about to say shrouded ghost. One cloaked ghost would be enough to just deal with it.
Yep, don't even need to land a nuke, just kill it. And there is a ghost on the way right now, so that's good news for Vindicta. I love how they're just battling their hearts out over this base in the bottom right. I feel like I've never seen this much action on Everdream in the bottom right side of the map. Like, what is happening?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He's going to actually nuke it here, so I might even get a load of the drones. Never mind the hatchery, but actually the ducks going on some of these siege tanks here, pushing this into the corner. He is pinned against this wall right now with the Banelings crashing in against it. Has to evacuate out with the medevacs. Oh. It is all abandoned in the base up at the top left. Nuke goes down.
Yep, nuke goes down, gets the hatchery, gets 20 drones as well, but does that really matter when you just lost all of your goals, lost the Liberators, lost one of your last mining bases? This planetary fortress is going to go down as well. Namshar, I'm not sure if he's aware that during all of this, Vindicta did take the bottom right again. But I think that Namshar will figure that out soon and he's going to try to take it one more time. Wow, this game has been an absolute roller coaster, but it does seem that Vindicta is just running out of steam at this point. Namshar threw everything he had at Vindicta, and Vindicta weathered the storm for so long, but I feel like eventually he did kind of crumble.
I feel like he threw everything he had at him about 10 times down in that corner and eventually was able to break the position. Yeah, just nuts. Absolutely nuts. And this army is trying to make something happen up towards the top, but the Swarm will gather and the Swarm will dominate these final moments of this game. What a game, though. What a game.
A worker bloodbath, as Piggy would say. 153 right. SCVs went down. Well, make that 160 at this point. 100 drones have gone down as well. Almost 800 Zerglings. I mean, this game has just been ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very difficult to even quantify what we've witnessed here, realistically speaking. I mean, the game's kind of over, but we're just waiting for the kind of final breath here.
Yep, obviously Vindicta might think that maybe Namshar is like super broke and then all of a sudden some magical Marines can maybe win the game. And I think when his base in the bottom right gets shut down, he realizes that there is still so much Zerg. I think that Vindicta will know it's time to tap out. Look at this. Vindicta's gonna pass a hatchery on the right side. The way that these bases have been taken, like I believe 9 hatcheries, 10 hatcheries have gone down in this game. That's a lot.
Link's trying to get into the main, will not be able to do so. Here's the few last liberation zones to try and hold on to Liberty, but no, they will be destroyed, brought down. GG, what a game. Game number 1 goes to Namshar. Ridiculous.
Yep. 31 minutes of Ling, Bane, Hydra, Lurker, Viper. And for the longest time it was just Ling, Bane, and eventually it was Hydras. I would have loved to see Vindicta be a little more active still with just simple bio drops in the later stage of the game. Like, obviously he was trying super hard in the first 12, 14 minutes.
Yeah.
But then it's like, all right, we're just going Ghost and Liberators Advanced Ballistics. And I feel like multiple times he got so close to getting the ideal count of Ghosts and Liberators, but then he always lost some. He either lost Libs or he lost Ghosts and never really got the absolute dream composition. But at one point, like, Namshar was really getting taxed to the limit as well. And it felt that some of those bases, they were so exposed, they were so naked, and just 8 Marines, I feel like could have really messed Namshar up.
I feel like I'm going to need 3 more monsters if all the games are going to go like this today. This was ridiculous. We're going to Ice and Chrome next. There's so much to even talk about with that game. I mean, the nuke's actually getting stuff done. You know, and of course, when you're being taxed as well by Namshar in those moments, when you're putting so much focus on all of these other attacks that are going on, it's very easy to lose track of another nuke going on elsewhere. So it can be easy to lose the drones, I think.
No, absolutely. There's no shame in getting nuked a couple times. Like, everybody hates being nuked. At least when I was playing like some competitive matches in StarCraft 2, it's like my worst nightmare is getting nuked in a big stage game, and I'm like, oh no. Not like I ever play big stage games in StarCraft, but you know, even if I'm playing like on the Wadi stream, like whatever happens, don't nuke me. But in a game like this where it's 31 minutes of just craziness, and there were so many important fights, or as Hero Marine would say, game deciding fights. Well, we had like 17 game deciding fights in that one, so
yeah,
this is one hell of a game, and I feel that I made a correct choice. You know, I could have gone for some of those other matches, James, but I said no. Vindicta and Namshar, stylistically, it speaks to me. Namshar, I don't want to say his tournament life is on the line, but he's 0-2 in this group, so he really needs a W. Great pick by me. Great pick.
Great pick by you. And everything that I've taken from what you've just talked about was every veteran nuke Rotty on the ladder, please. That would be.
Well, on the ladder, it's like whatever. Then I can be like, guys, you know, I'm listening to music. I had a couple brewskis. You know, these things happen on the ladder. Ladder is just ladder, James. But, you know, when you're playing in a awarded tournament or one of the European Pro Tour weeklies or ESL weekly, as you're supposed to call them, then I'm like, I don't mind getting owned. I don't mind getting out multitasked. But like getting nuked in 3 places at once and then pulling all your units away into one place where you're also getting nuked, I'm like, oh no, like that's the worst.
When you're against Sirius Razor Rotterdam, was that the name? I can't remember.
Yeah, that was a thing once upon a time.
Yeah, you got to nuke him. All right. Going back on Ice and Chrome again.
Why would you go with Sirius rather than Fnatic though? Like, isn't Fnatic a slightly more appealing name?
You know, well, so here's the thing, is that when I first entered the esports scene, I remember seeing your face on a box and it said Sirius Razor Rotterdam, and I was like, oh, that guy looks cool.
I don't think that's what you thought. Like, that guy looks like a douche. Yeah. And then you met me, you're like, I was right. I knew it all along.
So yeah, that's when that was wrong.
Oh, that's even. Yeah, I don't really know why they put me on that box. It was really funny because the other guys on the box, they were just like absolute crushes, you know, like Rafa and some of the other guys that won like 17 world titles in their respective games, and like,
continue to do so apparently.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I won some online matches, beat Robbie a couple times, but that's about it, guys. Like, I'm really not that good. I don't think I deserve to be in this box, but it is what it is. Nice memory, right? All right, guys, here we go. Top right side of Ice and Chrome. In game 2 of this awesome best of 3. So far, the very first of the American part of this show. Our turn player, it is Vindicta.
And And what a fight he put up going up against this guy in the blue. It is Namshar. Whew.
What a day, James.
We're going to be here until 5 a.m.
I know. I thought that you had a long day yesterday with Ben, but I feel like we might be breaking some records tonight. The funny thing is that we have Neep against Scarlet coming up next. And in the previous season, DreamHack Masters Summer, they had a ridiculously long game. Like, I think it was 44 minutes or something on Ice and Chrome, where you can imagine it, a forest of spore crawlers, not a sporest, guys. A forest of spore crawlers, all the bases being mined out, carriers, vipers, you know it. I'm not sure if Scarlet is really feeling a game like that at the moment. Obviously, Scarlet has been playing a lot of Brood War lately, even won a show match against Artie Mactosis. Can you believe it?
I mean, one of my favorite things about Brood War is watching Artosis play, so I need to go back and watch that series, I think.
That is my absolute favorite thing of Brood War, because I don't really know a lot about Brood War. And yeah, you know, some of these guys, like, I can see why what they're doing is really impressive, but it doesn't really do it for me until I watch Artosis whine about Protoss, and he's like, "Oh, you're so good," and I'm like, "Yes, this is what I want to see." Dan being mad over a couple Dragoons, that's what I live for.
The most genius move that has ever happened in StarCraft 2 streaming, or StarCraft 1 and 2 streaming, is Tasteless's sub alerts. They are just phenomenal. Just Artosis getting mad at everything. It's so good.
It's so funny as well, because Dan really is the nicest guy. He just hates losing in Brood War.
Oh, great times. Well, this Reaper, hopefully he's not going to lose. Just taking a little bit of chip damage against all of these Zerglings. And here comes the Queen to shoo him away. Get out of here. Stop touching my babies.
See what the Reaper might work. I'd already be pissed if I was playing against this Reaper. Vindicta does get a Zergling there. I don't know if Namshar is like Elaser, where he's like, all right, that's it. 44 drone. Lingbane all in, okay?
It's secret
Didn't
time.
like the start. Didn't like the start.
Laser. Somewhere he's probably asleep, but also laughing.
I don't know if Elaser would be asleep already. Is Serral? Serral's probably asleep. Like 11 p.m. Like, that's kind of where Serral draws the line.
You think so? Sarah's a good boy?
No, Serral really is a good boy. That's why he doesn't play in the weeklies. It's like they go on for too long. They run past midnight, and Serral doesn't like it.
Yeah, fair. Human test Carapace. Gonna be doing some scooting about with these overlords.
Wow, was that your Canadian impression, James?
Actually, no, I just kind of did it. But now that you say it, yes. Yes, you are.
I'm not sure if the Canadians are very proud of that one.
No, probably not.
All right. I'd love to see, I mean, I sound like a broken record, a little bit more aggression coming out of Namshar in the mid game. I feel like he makes it so easy for Terrans to just basically leave only one Marine at home and just use everything to drop. And he is really good in fighting off that drop aggression and multitasking and stuff. But it's just like, the exposed mineral lines, I feel like, look at Raynor. Raynor's making bank out of just sending Zerglings to the other side of the map into mineral lines, counter-attacking all the time. A Terran, every Terran's worst nightmare. And Namshar is too sweet, man. Why is he playing in such a sweet way?
Yeah, Namshar, do you want to be second place at BlizzCon? All right, right. I'll tell you what you need to do right now.
Do you want to win Katowice 2021? By the way, is it just me or that fusion core looked so weird? Like, it looked like it was done, but it was only starting.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah,
it's very strange.
I mean, there's a lot of different skins these days, right? Building skins. Anyway, Namshar did throw down the Roach Warren. We know that Namshar absolutely loves roaches. Since he scouted the Battlecruiser opening, that makes me wonder, is Namshar gonna go for a quicker game? And then I see him going up to 61 drones, so I guess the answer is not. What is that? An armory in the bottom right side of Ice and Chrome? Why are we doing that?
That is cheeky. There we go. I pulled it out again. It's very ambitious. So hiding away whilst getting this little going. Full mech as well. Why would you hide that? But then...
Yeah, I know. It's like an
What's
overlord in
flying
his
in?
main, scouting all the factories. I mean, you can say maybe to hit a hellbat timing, but this isn't much of a timing because Namchar's already at 57 drones.
Ah.
And I feel like if you play mech, armories are pretty important. So I'm a little confused about this one as well, James.
Well, the thing is, as well, is eventually, if this game goes long, he's going to lose it, and then he doesn't have his upgrades, you know, pumping away.
He might just rebuild them. I mean, he is going to show up with all the Hellions. He did kind of pocket a whole bunch of Hellions, so maybe that's why. What's the drone count at this point? It is 5. I think that's decent. The Hellions diving on top of the Queens right now. Where is that battle cruiser? And we should be jumping that thing to the other side of the map. This is a big map. Where are we going to jump it? Come on, don't fly it. No.
Jumps. You're not getting any aggressive jumps today, mate. You've wanted them so bad in some of these games.
Okay, now he's making double armory in his main. So he's obviously thinking of the fact that he could be losing that armory. Maybe, I mean, to be fair to Vindicta, Namshar did not make a Roach Warren in the previous game. He just defended it with Ling Bane, right? Ling Bane and a couple queens.
Yes. Yeah.
If Namshar would have done the exact same thing in this game as he did on Everdream, then
it
all of these Hellions morphing into Hellbats, I think this time it would have been overwhelming. But since we have a completely different build, it's not very overwhelming.
Yeah, it could have been. You're pretty on the money there, I think. With the Spire going down now, Baneling Nest on the way, range upgrades going down, a lot of corruptors being added on to combat this battle cruiser.
I'm a bit worried for Vindicta because he made so many Hellions and really didn't get anything done. I'm kind of worried that his tank count is not going to be where it's supposed to be, but right when I say the Hellions didn't get anything done, they are going to find a couple of drones for the first time this game. At least they were supposed to, and then they ran into roaches. Battlecruisers in the main base, though, finding a little bit of success.
Leave as quickly as in. And yeah, range upgrades, melee upgrades. Oh, actually, no armor upgrades. So straight to all the aggression here for an Namshar.
Yeah, true. Well, he started +1 flyer carapace.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. Okay, actually, no, it's still going well. Namshar has a 6 drone count at this point. If Namshar doesn't get aggressive with this kind of a drone count, then I just don't know what we're watching anymore. Hellions gonna sneak into this base, and this time there are no roaches to keep these drones safe. But it's a pretty good pull, and in the end only ends up losing 6 drones, so it ain't that bad.
I hit the same location. The roaches had previously moved on away. Another base going down to the south as well here for him. And oh, that is unfortunate. Teleport away.
I mean, Namshar has to start getting aggressive, right? Because obviously, eventually the mech army is going to be very powerful. I actually kind of feel like he already maybe missed some sort of a window. Yeah, he's just going to drop the infestation pit. I should give up because Namshar is never going to be aggressive. Namshar just likes defending, and Namshar loves late game. All right, that's fine.
Settle in, my friend. It's another 30-minute. Let's do it.
Well,
maybe.
I mean, 4-5 base mech on Ice and Chrome is very hard to break. And especially once I feel like the Hellions start finding damage, they will keep finding damage. So Namshar is just going to replace the drones that he keeps losing. Vindicta is going to try to get a proper army out, right? It's time to get his first force on the way. See a Liberator in production.
And still more attempts at getting himself some drones here with these harassing units. Whilst everything gets injected to the base down to the south. And that's a lot of Ravagers.
Yeah, that is a lot of... And he's maxing out, Baneling speed is finishing up, so maybe I do get to see an attack from maxed out Namshar. And that would make me very happy.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go up against the mech army, if you can find some pockets of these units and try and bring those down, or just keep the numbers of siege tanks down, that will always be beneficial.
And obviously Ravagers are pretty good units to just be annoying with. Spam some corrosive bile. Now we do have a planetary fortress on the right side. Namshar wants to take out these rocks. The 2 battlecruisers are going to try to get a cancel on that hatchery, or actually a kill. Where are the corruptors?
Where are they? Oh, there they are.
Okay, it does feel like the 3rd base is a little bit exposed, right, for Vindicta. The tank count is at 4, so it's definitely a little bit low.
Yeah, and one Liberator is not going to shut this down anytime soon. Just drop a few corrosive vials on towards that and you'll be able to deal with that quite quickly. Although none are going down right now. I feel like he's not even looking at this position until just now.
Yeah, no, he was looking at his Baneling run by, and I think trying
Yeah.
to deal with the battle cruisers as well. Look at the mineral line at the fort base of Vindicta. Banelings did a lot of
Oi.
damage, but Banelings didn't get a lot of kills. Now, maybe the next wave of Banelings will, but yeah, good defense by Vindicta. Maybe not the best attack by Namshar. And Namshar's like, you see, Roddy, this is why I don't attack.
All of the SCVs just survive with 1 health.
Yeah.
Getting a few Hellions on this left-hand side as well. I feel like this one of that mineralize is one of those moments where one little SCV's got to go around and start repairing everybody, making them feel all good and healthy again. But Ultralisk Cavern going down. Whee.
Yeah, Ultras against Mech. I mean, they can definitely get the job done. I do think it's important for Namshar to make it a little more difficult for Vindicta to get these bases up and running, right? Okay, finds the armor in the bottom right side, and that's +2 that's being researched there as well. Okay. No, don't leave it. It's only helping once. He's going to go down anyway. A couple of tanks and Liberators are going to go down here. Very good attack by Namshar.
Yeah, saw the opportunity, pounced on it here up towards the top. So another Liberator will fall. Actually, could, in theory, keep going on that command center with the corrosive bars if you wanted to, but it's just going to take this fight for now up towards the north. Still a little annoying pocket of units with these Cyclones in tow.
Yep, so now the Banelings are going to help out as well. They're going to try to crash into this squad. This squad is now trapped. So Vindicta's going to end up losing all these Cyclones. He's going to try to space them out a little bit. So it will take a few more Banelings, but I don't think that's really what he was hoping for.
He doesn't have Burrow, right? Or does he? Because could have sat... No, he doesn't. So I could have sat some of the Lings on towards that base, but it's going to be by the by. It scans in the main base as well, actually, while this is going on. So he really wants to get a good information on his opponent and sees the Ultralisk Cavern, so can potentially prepare.
I feel like Vindicta's playing quite well here. I mean, he's finding some damage now with Liberators as well on the bottom side. Namshar is going to try to shut down this base before it morphs into a planetary fortress. That's not going to work out either. I mean, these Hellions actually getting 16 drones, more Liberator res as well. James, what if we get 3 30-minute games out of this best of 3?
Bring it. Oh, so good. I'm just loving the fact that I'm still getting to cast. It's a weird dream to me. It's a fever dream. We've got these Hellions coming on in once again down towards the south. That'll be cleaned up very rapidly though, thanks to all of these Lings.
You know, James, I've got a great suggestion to production. I know they're listening.
Oh,
What do you think of an interview right now?
Think what right now, mid game.
No, after the best.
I agree.
Fire in a little interview. All right, we got a battle cruiser doing some damage on the hatchery in the top left side. It feels that Vindicta has definitely just created a wall. A wall of planetary fortresses, tanks, sensor towers. And he's like, all right, if you like the late game, I like the late game. You know, I do get it, right? Like, we are obviously like kind of going from best of 3 to best of 3. Some of them are mid game, some of them early game, some late game. But for these guys, this is the only series they're playing on the mainstream today.
Precisely.
And they're like, you know what? We're going to make it count.
Yes, and you know, I mean, their minds have been preparing for this particular match for a little while, right? So they've had a fully fleshed out game plan, one would assume, going into some of these games. So, yep, gonna kill us off. What else we got? 3 command centers going down. Roddy, buckle up.
No, I've been buckled up for a while, mate. I'm just tucked into this chair. I'm not going anywhere. Lings and Banes crashing into the Hellions in the center, but obviously losing Hellions ain't that bad. Just keep those Cyclones alive because they do start getting a little more expensive eventually. What are these SCVs up to? I guess Vindicta's like, you know what? I've got way too many. I'm going to get rid of a couple. That's funny. That's going to be demoralizing, right? When you're trying to kill SCVs and your opponents are like, you know what? Here, I have too many. Take a couple. And you're like, oh.
That one might be demoralizing. I will agree on that one. It's like, well, what's the point? What was the
Yeah. Everything I've tried to do is kill SCVs for the last hour, and you're just going to give them to me? Banelings and Ravagers running into all of these liberation circles, though, and yeah, you got a couple of connections. Namshar is going for a big outfit. Look at the Hellbat!
No.
The sweetest Hellbat spot. I love it. Well done.
I need a hero.
Oh my god. That Hellbat.
What a
30
blast.
kills. Save the tank. No, that's the choke point.
That was, yeah, a choke point for Namshar for sure. The Baneling's going to be on running on through and not really getting too much done. The mech army is pretty darn strong. Namshar here is going to have a bit of a hard time slowing this down.
Yeah, how's Namshar gonna fight this, by the way?
I don't know.
Well, he's just gonna roll in. He's gonna do his absolute best. A couple of Vindicts will not get anything done. Namshar's got a lot of money in the bank, but where is his army? Is there an army?
82 army supply, but where is it all? As you're saying, the Corruptors are going to need to deal with these Liberators before anything else happens, because every choke point is kind of sieged up by the Liberation Zones. Here they come, but it's too late.
Wow.
Vindicta GG 1-1.
Wow, Vindicta just takes it actually in 60 minutes of some pretty awesome mech action. Don't know what to say, James. Like, it felt that we were in for a very long one, and then all of a sudden, Vindicta's like, no, my army is better than your army. Move to the other side of the map and won. Means we're all tied up. We're gonna head into a 2-minute break, and after that, we'll be back with game 3.
Welcome back. We're going into game number 3 of Vindicta going up against Namshar. This has been, as Pig would call it, a bloodbath.
It really has been. I mean, the first game was pretty epic. The second game was shaping up to be pretty epic. And it's really funny because I didn't feel that Vindicta was really getting any groundbreaking damage done. Like, eventually, I did point out, I was like, okay, I'm starting to like where this is going, right? Little Hellion drive-bys. The Liberator play was on point. And I was like, okay, Namshar's army is not that good right now, but that's going to fix itself eventually. I mean, we had an Ultralisk cavern, but we never had any Ultras. And I really think, James, it all started with that hero Hellbat on the ramp. Because if 30 Zerglings run into the natural, run into the main, you know, those Lings are well upgraded. They start wreaking havoc there. But one Hellbat said, no, not today. Kept the tank safe and just won the game in my
Maybe.
Absolutely.
Let's get things going up to the top right. In the blue, it is Namshar.
And in the bottom left side, look at the main base of the young American Terran player is playing his heart out today. Would love to get his second victory in the group stage. It is Vindicta. This is becoming a very serious game for Namshar now. Now, being 0-2 after having played Neep and Silky is like, okay, that can happen. It's not that bad. You can still finish top 4. If you lose against Vindicta as well, then this is going to be a very tough challenge for Namshar to even finish top 4 in this group.
Yeah, these are the kind of series that for someone like Namshar, who is almost a veteran of the scene now, to be perfectly honest, these are the games that should be not 3 points, but points, right? In a group like this. So 1-1 right now. Not the best of results so far for him. He would have expected maybe a 2-0 off the back of it, but Vindicta has brought him to the brink in this series.
What would you do right now? After game 1, you played Bio. Game 2, you played Mech. Obviously, Mech went fantastic, but Ice and Chrome is a very good Mech map. You want to see more Mech, or you say like, nah, Eternal Empire, let's go Bio?
Well, after all of that shenanigans, I would say 3 barracks, but no, I think we we would. I think maybe a bit of Mech again. I like the Mech personally.
I mean, it did give us the game of the day between Marine Lord and Elaser. To be honest, today is like, I know that like sometimes people at home hate it when we're like, today's such a good day, because casters always say that, right? They want to impress the viewers, but I generally mean it when I say today has been, I think, a very good day. Like, it started off with that awesome PvP game between Skillers and Gerald on Pillars of Gold. Then Marine Lord Elaser was just absolutely fantastic. Namshar Vindicta game 1 was insane. I mean,
wait, do people really dislike that? Do people dislike when we say, wow, it's been such a good day?
I mean, there are casters. I'm not saying in StarCraft, but just in general, always like everything is always amazing. It's best tournament ever, best games ever. Every day is legendary, and I kind of dislike that too because I watch a lot of real sports or traditional sports, as you can say, and obviously if a football game is terrible and it's 0-0, people are like, oh, terrible game, and everyone's like, yeah, terrible game, move on. And for a while, esports was always like everything has to be the best ever. But I think today, like obviously not every game has been perfect, but a lot of fun matches like Lambo Drogo has been really fun as well. I think that game on Eternal Empire. So.
Yeah, no, I see where you're coming from. I guess back in the day, everything had to be. I mean, esports history was a meme for a little while.
But for the right reason. I mean, I don't know if you ever had this, but I definitely had instructions in the past in my early years of StarCraft 2 where they're like, and even Warcraft 3 actually I had it quite a bit where they're like, no matter what you think of the games, because I was always pretty critical, especially when I was Warcraft, right? Because I was a little bit of a cocky young boy, I thought I was really good at the games. It was hard to impress me. And they're like, we like your commentary, but can you get a little more excited, please? And if you think somebody didn't play well, can you just, hype it up? And I'm like, well, if they play well, I'll hype it up.
I mean, I will agree. I kind of had some of those directions. Fusion core on the way. I kind of had some of those directions early on. And I think because I was fresh and new and green to esports, I was like, yes, boss, like there would have been those moments where you want to appeal to your employer. But nowadays, like if something's not good, I'm going to say it's not good, right? Like,
yeah, it's okay to say that, but and then if it's good, then let actually people know that today has been, I don't want to say like the most special day ever. I'll never forget one opening day of BlizzCon where it's like 9 out of 10 best of 5s, or 7 out of 8 were just amazing. That's probably my sickest day ever. But today's been very good. Let's see if Eternal Empire can deliver as well. I think we've got Hellions and of course that battle cruiser opening as well. And Namshar at this point only having 14 links. If Vindicta decides to get very adventurous, maybe we can get something done with the Hellions.
Yeah, maybe. Already starting things off fiery, trying to deny this drone from going down here, and actually will deny it for a second, but not in terms of a straight kill, just in terms of the zoning. And now eventually these lings will scout down there, see if it is safe. It's coming around the high ground.
Yeah, queens are a bit out of position there, but it's always hard to commit. And like we see everything and we're like, well, you can maybe get a good fight there. Wants to take this fight against the queens. Don't forget that there is a battlecruiser follow-up. So getting a queen kill here, or at least getting them to low HP, is already pretty awesome. But Namshar, obviously with Overlord speed, has scouted everything, and he knows what's up.
Yep, we have the Yamato cannon coming down as well. Spire on the way, getting some spore crawlers up and running. So mech is on the cards here for Vindicta. So, I mean, it's a pretty decent map for Eternal Empire. You've got some really good choke points to be able to hold on, to be able to build your mech army up while this is happening.
Yep, and I mean, we already saw it shine early today. So, hey, we get a jump. Ooh. He does jump to the other side of the map. The Spire ain't done yet. Unfortunately, a lot of these Hellbats are already quite low in HP. Can he split off a couple of help? No, they're so clumped up. Why are the Hellbats so clumped up? Why don't we see 1 or 2 Hellbats going into that mineral line, James?
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Not the correct choices here for Vindicta to be able to maximize the efficiency of all of this. Even chasing them all the way to the edge of the creep and spreading some extra creep here to get those little Zergy tendrils going. But plenty more Hellions are out and about and maybe trying to hit a extremity of this base.
I mean, this has definitely not worked out so far for Vindicta, because Namshar has defended in a pretty greedy way. Even drops the transfusion there on the extractor. Doesn't want to lose that rich Vespian gas income. It makes sense. Vindicta's hoping for some damage. His banings at this point already as well. I mean, Namshar is playing a very typical Namshar game where he's just like, all right, defend, defend, defend. Banelings very close to connect with Hellions on the bottom side. Doesn't happen. Now these low HP Hellions cruising into the mineral line is not getting much done.
That was some weird happening there from those Hellions up towards the top. But eventually they will get cleaned up. A few workers go down. 10 Mutalisks were in production while this is happening though. They will push this battlecruiser away.
Needs to teleport home. At least keeping the BCs alive is obviously very important. Not really the damage I think that Vindicta was looking for, but at least he has clawed his way back up economically as well. He's at 66 workers now. Banelings! Good connection on these Hellions. Very well done by Namshar.
You want to deny some damage from being done? That's how you do it. Very, very nicely. And we have these Mutalisks looking to move into attack formation down towards a position and decide to retreat from attack formation. Damn.
Yeah, I guess because Vindicta has been so active, I feel like the creep ain't crazy, right? Like, it's starting to get there, but this is not like the craziest creep spread we've seen. So maybe that will open the door for Vindicta to find some openings with his Hellions. Namshar is going up to 90 drones at this point.
Just consistently trying to push off these battle cruisers. Tons of upgrades coming down though here to bolster this mech force. And Liberator is going to be joining the fray as well. I mean, Libs, you know, it's rare I get to see them against Mutalisks nowadays, but they're still pretty damn good if you're actually clumping that stuff up.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often, but I've seen a couple of epic gamer moments, as Textos would say.
Back on the e-gaming train, are we?
I mean, these are fantastic e-athletes that we are watching right now.
That's correct, yeah.
E-battling it out over here.
Yeah, as long as they don't consume too many E numbers, I'm sure they'll be fine. Getting these Mutalisks trying to push these battle cruisers again, and we'll get it away. But it did 2 workers as well as a lot of damage to an extractor. Ooh.
Yeah, not the most fantastic BCs, but hey, it did open up the door for these Hellions to cruise into this mineral line. And this is where things do start adding up. Last game, we definitely saw Namshar struggle a little bit with the mech. And, you know, if you keep losing drones, you keep losing Lings and Banes, and you're just rebuilding them. Okay, the Muta count is so high, but we got Widow Mines! Oh my goodness. I mean, yeah, you get a turret or 2, but this was very good, I think, for Vindicta.
That was Hail Mary to the nth degree. That was just, I'm just going to bum rush this base and try and see what I can get done. That could have gone a whole lot worse if there was like 1 more Widow Mine in between those other 2.
But 2 more mines behind the refinery, man. They're always stuck away behind that refinery. It's so hard to see.
I love that tactic. Me and Ben were talking about it yesterday. Hide them. Hide them. I love it.
Well, I'm very worried because Namshar's army right now is very flimsy, and it's so easy for Namshar to take a bad fight. Does get a couple of Hellions for free here. Wants to connect. I don't know about this fight. I mean, It's just a couple of Mutas. There's Cyclones, there's Widow Mines as well. This is not going good for Namshar at all. There's a lot of these Mutas are so low HP. Kalaris, in the last minute and a half, 17 Mutas have gone down.
You know what? I'm really bad at predicting if this goes the way of Vindicta. I used to be decent at it, but now I am awful. Holy moly. We're going to continue things on here. But Vindicta is making such a good meal out of this game, this series in general.
Yep. I mean, Namshar definitely needs to tack up. Like, this Ling Bane style can work. We've seen like Su have a lot of success with it in the past. And it's like, well, we don't really know how they do it, but every now and then they make it work. But Vindicta is getting such a monstrous army out already. And this is a real anti Ling Bane Muta army as well. I mean, that previous fight was just a disaster. Battle cruisers teleport home. It's really important to keep them alive because they are so tanky in these big fights. Widow Mines, there's a lot of them.
Ooh. You saw it lock on, no?
What's happening?
Okay, so actually trying to push into this location, but not really get much done. The battle cruisers have got to be so frustrating to battle against in this kind of scenario, because of course you always have to respond to them, but then they always teleport away. But getting around top of them with no teleport available gets one at least. But
oh, the Muta! Don't forget about the mines.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least there is an overseer there, but I feel like Vindicta somehow still didn't see those mines, so that can get very, very gnarly. I'm worried for Namshar. He's got 1,000 gas in the bank. That's absolutely nothing. We saw him lose 17 Mutas in a minute before. Oh, yeah, gotta be so careful.
These Mutas are living on the worst planet right now for them. There's so much AoE potential on the side of Vindicta.
It feels like everything is against the Mutas here.
Yeah. Not the easiest for them, unfortunately. If they go near a Thor, they're doomed. If they go near a Liberators, they're doomed. Widow Mines are invisible against them. It's like living in Australia for them. Jeez.
Yep, they're going to try to find their luck in the natural, and at least they picked up a turret and get a couple of SCVs. They will find a tank as well. The Liberators, though, are flanking them. Do we get some big shots? The answer is yes, but hey, that's a good spread. But I mean, still, all the Mutas go down. Oh my goodness, I thought they would do a little bit better because the spread was good. Well, goodbye to 20 Midlers for what? A Liberator, a tank?
Oh, and they couldn't even focus on Libs because they had to focus on spreading, so 3 of them are so low. Instead of them actually being killed off here, Banelings are going to roll against this, but Vindicta is up now in terms of supply, and his army has never looked stronger.
Exactly. It's not just that he's up in supply, it's just that his army could be a lot better. As long as he doesn't really get overeager here. Banelings are going to come in from multiple angles. We still have Widow Mines, Liberators, good siege up, but as long as a couple of Hellions survive, I think it should be fine. I gotta say, really good Baneling connections here though by Namshar.
Yeah, very good. He really forced the issue on this fight and really didn't allow Vindicta to take the fight on his terms. Even the little bit of extra creep spread that was up this ramp really helped out Namshar in that engage.
Wow. Just when we thought that Vindicta almost had this game locked up after taking out 44 Mutas already, is now taking out 55 Mutalists. And he just threw away an incredibly expensive army. He got overeager. He just wasn't ready for that fight. He's like, all right, I'm just going to go for it. How much do you really have? Well, the answer is a lot. When they're on like 6-7 hatcheries, they're making 80-90 Zerglings at once. And that was the best fight that Namshar was ever going to get.
Ultralist Kevin on the way behind it and getting his 3-3 going down. Hellions are going to try and get some desperate damage done now because Vindicta knows that he's going to be a little bit behind after taking that kind of damage to his entire army, which is an expensive army, which takes a long time to recuperate.
The drones. What? It's still alive. One Muta. I didn't even see that Muta. That Muta is like I used to be with many. Like they used to be 55 of me. We should make a movie out of the Muta, the last Muta.
We live on this terrible planet. All my friends are dead.
Another good Hellion drive-by, morphing them into Hellbats. Getting a couple of decent shots off. 3 drones as well. But now we're starting to get some of the Liberator harass. And Namshar is improving the quality of his army, getting ultras, getting the infest upgrades as well. But he is still running a little low on gas. And one of his rich Raspine geysers have already been mined out.
All right. I don't even know what to talk about at this point. The scan drops in the main base actually kind of at exactly the same time that it previously did in the other one, spotting the fact that the Ultralist cabin's down. So I guess this is just kind of the time that Vindicta really wants to know when his opponent's transitioning. But Ultralisks are already out and about, and they're going to be beefy boys.
Yeah, but we also have 6 Thors and 5 Widow Mines, 5 Liberators. I mean, don't forget that the entire previous fight, not a single Liberator was set up, right? Like, not one of them sieged. And yeah, there were a couple of Corruptors in the air, but that was kind of it. The meter count was already very low. That fight would have gone a lot better with just a couple of Liberation zones. I don't know. It's anybody's game. It really comes down to the engagement and execution. But I think that Namshar is feeling a little uncomfortable, especially because this is such a big best of 3 for him. Like Vindicta would love to make top 4. That'd be awesome. But, you know, if he doesn't get it, then it's okay. It's a learning moment. Like you said, Namshar is a veteran. He's supposed to make it out of this group.
Yeah, one would think. These Lings just cleaning up on this right-hand side as well. And we're just going into the same kind of phases that we were seeing in, I guess, first and second game when it comes to how these two are playing and operating against one another. They seem very comfortable to drag this out and keep this moving on forward. Look at them. What is this flower of liberation zones?
Right, we do have, I mean, that's a good setup though. That's a very safe setup. We have Neural Parasite, and I know that Katz is happy to see that. He thinks it's the best thing in the game against Thors, and it's hard to disagree. I would love to see like maybe some Vipers as well, but I feel there are very few Zerg players in the world that are comfortable with both Vipers and Infestors in the same game. Like, obviously you'll see it, and some of them will feel like they have to, but then the control isn't good. I think it's really hard to control both spellcasters, but ideally you do want to get both.
Yeah, it just adds extra tools to your arsenal, I suppose, here for any kind of engagements that do come down. Very micro-intensive, I suppose, during those moments, but this is the weirdest wall I have ever seen.
And that was the cutest fight as well. One tank is like, help me, and the other tank is like, I've got this.
I'm not unsieging for anything.
Yeah. All right, all the Infestors in the center. All the Infestors in the center. Oh my goodness, from the high ground. No, I think Namshar should disengage. No. This is not the fight. Imagine Scan goes down, you lose the Infestors, you lose. Yeah. I don't want to say the game, but it becomes very difficult then.
They're very
all right, he's going to try again. Neural Parasite from behind. Kalaris, take it away. This is your moment to shine.
Do it. I want to see it. Liberation zones are there as well. If he drops a scan, they'll actually die to those liberation zones pretty quickly. But here comes the flank from the left-hand side. Here comes the Neural Parasites as well. Picks up a lot of these Thors. The shots are going to go off left, right, and center here against this.
No.
We have lag. Oh, no.
No. What? No. How? What a moment.
That's our observers.